your name, and maybe I should call your name. Tell me what you do, so that I just want to know your background before we continue, so that I will know who I'm talking to or talking with. It's going to be an interactive session. So I can see Fatima here. Is Fatima here? Fatima Mahmood.
Yes, sir. Good
Good
morning, sir.
morning. So, can you tell me something about yourself?
Okay, my name is Fatima. I'm from Maiduguri. I based in Ibadan,
Okay.
and I'm a businesswoman.
You do business?
Yeah, I'm into clothing.
Okay.
I studied special education.
You studied
Special education.
special education. All right. Thank you very much. Buki Ayola, are you there?
Sir,
Okay.
my name is Arigbede Bukola Ayola. I'm from Ekiti State. I live in Ibadan. I'm a nurse, and I'm also
Okay.
a volunteer in this place.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks for
Yes, sir.
coming. Sunday Akinyemi.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Sunday Akiyemi. So I'm a graduate of biology education. I'm based in Ogun State presently, and I'm also a volunteer.
All right. Thanks for being here. Okay, Fola Ade.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adeomi Folashade. I'm an administrator. I base in Ibadan.
Okay, that's fine. Victoria Abolade.
Okay, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
Victoria Bolande. I studied social work from National University of Education. So I'm also a volunteer.
Okay, I've seen someone here. It's a nurse. Boss said day. Okay, thank you for sending that. Okay. Can we have another person? Just want to have 5 more people before we continue. I can't see your names any longer. I don't know what happened. Okay, any other person? If you have not spoken, can you just tell us about yourself? Priscilla Oluwani Shola. Abdul Karim Abdul Razak.
Good morning,
You want to
sir.
say something? Good morning, sir.
Abdulkarim Abdulrazak by name. I'm a health educator, physiotherapy technician, and a correction officer.
Oh, that's fine. You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Can we have another person? Okay, Tolu Alade Somi, a public health student from the University of Ibadan. You're welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Another person?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma.
My name is Adekunle from Victoria. So I'm currently a health promotion education student in the University of Ibadan.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Olubumi Oni is a public health dentistry. Okay, public health dentist. Okay, you studied public health dentistry. All right. Victoria Abolade, graduate of social works and community development, and also a volunteer. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. We can go on. We also have Aminu Aisha Fola Shade, an environmental health officer. Akinpelumi Fumilayo, a teacher. Thank you so much. Now I have an idea of the people I'm discussing with this morning. All right, I can see you, Akin Kuoye Robert, Frank Richman, Afiz Adewale Tijani. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad to have you all here. All right, I'm Sunday Akande, and I hold a BTech in environmental biology from the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, and I also hold a master's of education in counseling psychology from the University of Ibadan, where I worked on the influence of personality types on aggressive behavior among young people. Before I went to the Nigerian Baptist Theological Seminary for another master's in of divinity in theology. Uh, Currently, I'm in the United States of America for my PhD, where I'm working on how to develop models to curb violence among young people, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. All right, so I just did that, a form of introduction for us all to know that we are all in this business of reducing or curbing mental illness or distress in our society. Okay, and I've seen that virtually all of you here, either by interest or um, by training, you have a background in something related to what you should have in order to do this business of reducing mental illness in our society. So I've seen people, among you studying the biology, some studying education, some medicine, and all of that. So that's great. Okay, so can two people tell us what you were introduced to last week? I know
We can't hear you anymore.
I think that is network. It seems he's having network glitches because I can't hear him too. Let me send him a message.
Is anyone there? Because I can't hear anybody.
We are here.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, good morning.
Good
Good morning,
morning.
ma.
I think he's experiencing because he's no longer on call. Network.
Okay. All right, ma. Thank you.
Just hold on. Let me see. See, it's only in Nigeria that we experience network. What now they will say Nigerian people, Nigerian people. You see?
Abi.
Nah,
So Nigeria is trying in the another way.
we're trying though. But all that start someone from the US. Person is having network glitches. That means Nigeria is doing well. Because all of us here, we're not having network glitch right now.
Yeah, we are not.
Exactly.
The
So I think
network
we are
is
on
stable.
7G. They are still on 4G.
Mm. Okay, that's good.
Jesus. Hello.
Yeah, welcome back, sir.
I'm sorry
Welcome,
about
sir.
that. Network. Pulled me out of. Can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay.
Yes, we
All right.
Yes,
Welcome
sir,
back,
we
sir.
can hear you.
Okay. Thanks for your patience. Please, I was saying, someone should tell us what you did last week.
can.
As just give us a summary of the introduction you had last week.
Okay, last week we talked about introducing mental illness, and she went ahead and gave us a definition of understanding what mental illness is.
Okay. Okay. So what in your own definition, what is mental health, and what have you learned so far? Anyone? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What did you say?
I said, in your own words, what is mental health, and what have you learned so far, from the introduction?
And from my own understanding, what mental health means is knowing about your mental stage, how to manage it, and how to control it. It's not all about you being mentally unstable. Sometimes it might be other issues, situations, and you can control them and manage it. That's what I understand by mental health.
Okay. Thank you. Mental health has to do with the psychological, mental, and biological well-being of a person. Is that what you were introduced to?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and by now you must have been introduced to some examples of some ways whereby mental illness or distress, exhibits or presents itself in people. Can you give me a few examples?
We talk about eating disorders,
Can you
substance
give
use
me,
disorders.
2 or 3 examples of how mental illness or distress presents itself in people? I just want us to be on the same page. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. I think
Alright.
someone is responding already.
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Is there anyone there?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
It's like the mic cannot hear us.
Okay.
It's
Hope
having
you
a
can hear
network.
us. Can you hear us, sir?
Hello, can you hear me?
I think it's network again.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Hello, can
I
you
think it's
hear
having
me?
network issue.
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you.
I think you will have to rejoin because the network is messing up. So just be patient. Let's hold on a bit. Let's see.
All right, ma.
Hello, am I in?
Yes, sir.
Oh my, I don't know who I offended tonight that the network keeps logging me out. I don't know.
It's your network, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Yeah, it's all right.
We need to give you 7G from our side.
You need to give me 7G.
Yes, sir.
From
It's all right.
Nigeria.
Yeah, let's see what we'll be able to do within the next available time. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happened. All right. Okay, I think someone has told me what you have done so far, what you have been introduced to. And I just wanted to do that so that I will know what we are building on. All right, can you hear me clearly now?
We
Now,
can,
so
sir.
Yes, sir.
my session today and tomorrow's session will be on factors influencing mental health. Factors influencing mental health. So we'll be talking about that today, and we'll also be talking about impact of stress, lifestyle, and environment. So tomorrow, I will just move to identifying signs of mental health or mental distress. Okay. So today we'll just limit ourselves to the factors influencing mental health, and in the course of our discussion, we'll also be touching some examples of mental distress as we go on. Is that okay?
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So if you check the note that was sent to you, you will see an image. You will see a graph. A chart. Did you see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You will
we
see,
can. A Venn diagram.
you will see a diagram. That has that looks like a Venn diagram. Okay. So I would like to start by saying whatever a man or anybody will become in life lies on two important factors. The first thing, in biology, there is, we say phenotype is equal to genotype plus environment. Are there biology students here?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now,
Yes, you're
so
on point.
all right, so it means whatever a child will become, especially the behavior, the appearance, the attitude, depends greatly on the genotype, that is the inheritance of the genetic makeup from the parents and the influence of the environment. Are you getting me now? All right. So we can use that knowledge to explain the factors influencing mental health in a person. To say there are two important factors. The first factor is the biological factors, that we call, that was explained in phenotype is equal to genotype plus environment. The first thing is the biological factors, and the other factor is the environmental factors. All right. So in between the two comes psychological factors. Okay, and that is why you see that diagram. You see that it has three of them there: biological, environmental, and psychological. Is that right? Okay. Now we'll take them one after the other, then we explain. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Okay. So it means that the well-being of a person greatly depends on the biological factors, the psychological factors, and the environmental factors. Like I told you that the three of them, there's an overlap of the three of them, and that's what we'll be considering this morning. Okay. Now let's start by the biological factors. Now, the first thing to consider under the biological factors is whether the person has physical, health or physical disease or illness or not. Okay, so if a person has a physical distress or a physical ailment, okay, physical illness, uh, you know, it goes a long way to affect the mental health of the person, and I'll explain later. Okay, there are some biological ailments. For those of you that are studying, that are in counseling psychology class, you must have been introduced to what we call biology of human behavior. Okay, so there is something we call biology of human behavior, that is how their brains and the central nervous system affects the behavior of a human being. Let me go further to explain. There are some things that are happening inside a human being, metabolism, the work of the central nervous system, the work of the endocrine system, and all of that. That if any of them is altered, it will lead to a corresponding behavior, in such a human being. So, but if they are not altered, the behavior will be normal. Okay, so a person may have an ailment, and it will result into the ailment would result into a corresponding behavior that is abnormal. Okay, so and that is when we say the biological the mental, the cause of the mental ailment is as a biological fact, as an underlying biological factor. Okay, so you see things like neurochemistry, metabolic disorders, and all of that. I'll talk more about that later. But let me quickly go to genetic vulnerability, and I'll use genetic vulnerability, immune or stress response, and comorbidity to explain all that I just said now. Now, genetic vulnerability means condition whereby a child inherits something from his or her parents that has now made the child to be vulnerable to some ailments. Are you hearing me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we
yes,
can.
sir. We can hear
Yes,
you,
we
sir.
can hear you.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
We can hear you.
Hello?
Hello, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Oh my.
Hello, sir. We can
We
hear you,
can
sir.
hear you, sir.
Hello?
We can hear
I
you,
don't know
sir.
what's
We can hear you very well, sir.
tonight. Hello?
Very clearly. Network again, oh.
Hello? Hello?
We are with you, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me, but nobody is talking. I needed to know because of the
We
network.
are,
All
sir.
right. Since someone can hear me, all right. So there are ailments. I mean, there are genetic makeup. There are things that children inherit from their parents that expose them to some ailments. Okay, so when that happens, that's what we call genetic vulnerability. So some people are vulnerable to that's when you hear some people say, oh, okay, in their house, in their family, they have also ailments. They have so thing, mental distress, mental illness in their family. It is because the children in that family have been exposed to some things they inherited from their parents that that can be mentally I mean that can have to do with mental health or mental distress on the other hand. So that's what we call genetic vulnerability. Then comorbidity. Comorbidity is when you know something when something happens to someone biologically, and it now causes and it is an ailment, it is an illness, and it now causes another ailment in the body. A typical example is people that have diabetes, for instance. You see many of them having high blood pressure or hypertension. That's comorbidity. That is two ailments coexisting at the same time. Okay, so it means that there can also be problems biologically, and that problem will cause another problem that will that will surface externally in form of a behavior. And I'll make an illustration. I mean, I'll give you a story now. My elder sister, when I was young, my elder sister was exhibiting a form of ailment that made her see things, we can call it hallucination or something. She was see things, and she would say, this, I can see something, and nobody was seeing anything. And, people thought she was seeing spirits, and, that there are some spirits behind it. In the Yoruba land, if such a thing happens, everybody runs. Okay, yeah, I can understand that. I cannot hear you, but you can hear me. All right, it's fine. All right, so everybody runs Ether Scatter, find solutions, and we were thinking it was a spiritual problem until later she got married. And you know what poverty can also do. Maybe we'll be talking about social or environmental factors later, and we'll be saying poverty is also it's also a problem. I mean, it's also contributing to mental illness or ailments in Africa. All right, so later when she got married, her husband took her for treatment, and her eyes were were operated upon. And immediately after her eyes were operated upon, the problem stopped. I didn't know all those things until I got to counseling psychology class, and I was introduced to biology of human behavior. That I had, my first degree in biology. I didn't know all that, you know, and it's to tell you that there are things, especially in the central nervous system, that are coding for corresponding behaviors. Okay, so if those things are altered, the behavior will also be altered. In our own case, it was those things that were coding for vision, they were altered, and she was seeing different things. And that's exactly what happened in the Bible, that one blind man was brought to Jesus Christ, and he was Jesus wanted to heal him. And after the first healing, Jesus asked him, can you now see? He said, I can see men like trees. Even though I can see, but my vision is not clear. I can see people as though they were trees. And so Jesus had to pray for him again. I think it was the man that Jesus used sand or clay to spit he spat on sand and use it to rub his eyes, and he was saying that's to tell you that there are some problems, especially in Africa, that people think they are spiritual problems, but they are not. They are not. They are mental problems as a result of a problem of something happened to their biological makeup or genetic makeup that now led to an abnormal behavior. All right, so that is a biological factor. Another thing under the biological factor is immune or stress response. Immune or stress response. There are some things that also happen, stress especially, that affect the immune system. When there is too much stress, there is something that happens to the body, and a form of alert or an information is sent to the endocrine system. Endocrine system is meant to release, is meant to produce hormones for other systems to aid metabolic activities in our body. Okay, now when there is stress, an information is sent to the endocrine system, and some hormones like what we call flight or fight hormone, like adrenaline, is released into the body system. And let me give you an illustration now. When there is an election, especially in Nigeria, let's say we have 100,000 policemen, and there is an election in Abuja alone. You remember how the IG of police will send all those policemen and soldiers to that one state because of an election in that single state. It will now make all other states to be vulnerable because there will be shortage of security men in those states. That's exactly what happens when there is an emergency in our body, when there is stress. So the body will produce hormone that wants to fight that stress, that wants to fight that emergency. It will now make other parts of the body to be vulnerable. So it also weakens the body, weakens the immune system of the body. All right, so we will see the implication of that later as we go on. So that's how biological factor is responsible for mental health. Okay, I'm struggling to explain all this. Some who don't have biology, background may not understand, and I don't want to go too far so that it will not be as if, I will be speaking over those who don't have biology background. All right, so just know that at times what happens to the behavior of men outside that we see is as a result of some biological factors inside that we can see. And that is why, the issue of mental health can be a problem at times to handle, because you are dealing with a problem that you cannot see, at times, and also you are dealing with a problem that has different factors under it. Okay, I mean, underneath, you have different factors responsible for it, so you don't know which one is responsible for what. You don't know the exact thing that is responsible. You have to combine different factors and all of that. That makes it a bit difficult at times to handle. And that is why, if you want to be a volunteer, or you want to go, you want to pursue this business of reducing mental illness in a society, you have to read a lot. Especially, you have to know some of these things that I'm talking about. You have to know biology, a bit of biology. You have to know a bit of psychology. You have to know a bit of sociology. You have to know all this in order to be able to help very well. All right. Okay, now let's move to psychological factor. You see how biological factors and psychological factors are overlapping, and that is where you see response to reward. Response to reward. There's a what we call response to reward is a situation whereby you have an expectation. People have expectations from government, from society, from parents, from institutions, from schools, and all of that, from friends, from family members. When these expectations are met, uh, they are excited. There is something that happens again in our biological makeup that we call neurotransmitters. Some neurotransmitters are released into our system when we are excited, when we are happy. We call them dopamine. So a typical a typical one is called dopamine. Dopamine makes us feel good. It makes us feel excited. It's increased in our system. But when our expectations are not met, the dopamine comes down. It's decreased. In our system, it's a neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitters are the things that take information, from one neuron to another, in the central nervous system. Again, for those of you who don't have biology background, I'm sorry. So they are the ones that will go and tell your brain that you should be happy. Okay, so your brain will now interpret, that you are happy. Your brain will now interpret it as happiness. So it will make you feel excited, jump up and all of that. You are excited. When it is not, when your expectations are not met, dopamine will be low in your body system. So it means your brain will interpret it as sadness. So it can be altered also. When too much dopamine is released, it makes you too much excited that you cannot control it. When it is too low, it makes you go into too much sadness, and that is, it can lead to depression. It can lead to mood swing and all of that. Can you see how biology is dealing with the mind now? With the psyche of people, and how it can lead to mental illness. Okay, another thing is okay, we are now going to psychological now. Self-esteem. When self-esteem is too low or is too high. It can also lead to mental problem, perceptions, the way you see things, your temperament. By now you should be able to explain different temperaments that people have. There are some people that have temperaments to be excited all the time, talk all the time. You have people that are choleric, you have people that are sanguine, you have people that are melancholic. Yeah, it depends on the model you are using to explain temperament. So all these things can be extreme to the right and also extreme to the left, and that also goes a long way to determine whether the person will have mental illness or not. Now you see all this that I'm explaining, whether biology or psychology or environment, all of them are the major thing that makes them lead to mental distress is the fact that they can all put people into stress. And before we explain that, let us go to our social and environmental factor. Now, you see where social factor overlaps with biological factors and also overlaps with psychological factors. You see interpersonal relationships, you see trauma, you see grief. Okay, so when people are traumatized, it can lead to mental problem. When they are grieved, when there's a loss of child, loss of loved ones, of a loved one, loss of parents, loss of friends, and all of that can cause can put people can put stress on people. And when people are stressed more than they can bear, it can affect their mental health. Okay, when people are traumatized as a result of it can be rape, it can be any unpalatable thing that happens to them. It can put stress on them. When interpersonal relationships are suffering, when people, for instance, are in a relationship, a romantic relationship, and there is an issue between them, it can lead to a mental issue. Okay, so now let's see how environmental factor also overlaps with the biological factor. You see drug effects, you see diet and lifestyle. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be talking more about all those things, the names that that each of the name that each of them bears, the science of all these things that we are discussing. We are just doing a kind of general checkup to see how these factors affect people. Right, you see peer group, school, work, culture, family circumstances, socio-economic status. Now, let me say, let me go back to what I wanted to say the other time, that all these that we have said, biological factors, psychological factors, social or environmental factors, and how they overlap, the major thing that brings all of them together is that they put pressure, they put stress on people. When people have a biological problem that is now leading to their abnormal behavior, or when people's psychology is affected, okay, or when school or family or work or peer group is putting stress on people, it makes them have it makes their mental health to be affected. Now, let me say this before I allow you. Oh, okay. I don't know if I'll be able to hear you. Okay, let me say this, that you see, mental health is a major discussion in this part of the world. I mean, in the West, in the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and all of that. Okay, but in our own climb, in Africa, in Nigeria, people don't discuss it. Maybe because people don't go for therapy, maybe because people don't have money, maybe because many reasons. But I must tell you that you will see them recording high statistics in this part of in the West, you will think that they have mental illness in the West more than we have in Africa, and that is a lie. It is because people don't present themselves, for treatment or for therapy in Africa. That's why you think people don't, because in Africa, people are going through a lot. People are going through a lot of stress. The government, is putting people, is putting stress on people, the families, institutions. Yeah, I mean, you can imagine what you go through in your schools. You can imagine what you go through in your schools, the stress that your lecturers put you into, unnecessary stress, because they themselves are also stressed. Okay, so I may not be able to blame them. They are also stressed. They don't pay their salaries on time. They are stressed. Their families are stressed, so they transfer aggression to you. So people are stressed in Africa, and when people are stressed, they experience all sorts of ailments, that is that has to do with their mental health. And that is why all these factors are very important for us to consider. All right, so but you will now see other factors coming out, okay, out of these three factors that we have discussed. You see, like for instance, we have discussed lifestyle factors like diet, like exercise and all of that people also put on themselves in order to overcome stress. Okay, but you see cultural and societal factors, like, yeah, I'll give you room to talk. Don't worry. I'll don't worry. I just want to spend 1 or 2 minutes more, and I'll give you room to talk and ask questions. Okay. Yeah, I can see your hand, Abiodun. Don't worry. Okay, so you see different culture. You see different, apart from the government. We can't blame we can't blame only the government or institutions, but you see our cultures. Some of our cultures are
I think network is at
We
work
can't hear
again.
again. Mm.
Sorry, I
What did you say?
sorry. I said I can't hear anything again. I don't know if I'm the only one.
You're not the only one.
Oh, okay, okay.
I think it's having network issues again.
God will save Nigeria.
It's not Nigeria. It's not in Nigeria. Nigerians
Oh,
are
I
using
thought it's
7G.
okay. I thought it's us. Sorry.
No. It's not
At
us.
the same time, it might be the connection between there and here. So it might still be Nigeria.
That's
Hey,
exactly what I'm
let
saying.
us be positive about this Nigeria now.
Uh-uh. I needed to do a meeting yesterday. I had to subscribe for the 4 network: MTN, Airtel, Glow, and the other one. And still, I was unable to do the meeting.
All of us are carrying all the network. You switch to one from one to the other, and we spend more.
Yeah,
How
you're
how
right.
do I explain that?
It's not coming forth as it ought to be, and we are spending more. Yeah.
We'll look into it. We'll talk to our government. We'll look
You
into
see,
it.
it's not the issue. It's not only in Nigeria that they have network problem. It's a
No,
general issue. It
no,
can happen anywhere. Though you
definitely.
might see the network, the effort put in over there might be more than ours here, but every
Yes,
country has its own problem. So
definitely,
problem is not associated to a particular race, country, or
definitely,
tribe. It's a
definitely,
global phenomenon. So we
definitely.
should not liken
Only
everything
that,
to
only
Nigeria.
that the way they respond there is a fast response.
I
Here
They
we
beg your
responded
every
pardon, sir.
faster. You and I are also contributors to all the problems we are having in Nigeria. It's not an isolated case of the government or the leaders. We are all contributors.
At all levels, yes.
I
agree
beg
with
your
you.
pardon, sir. I
Hello,
agree with
everyone.
you, but I don't totally agree with that statement.
I'm not saying
Because,
you agree with me or you have your right to your opinion, sir.
excuse
Hello,
me, sir.
everyone. Can I quickly come
Everyone
in?
is sharing their opinion here.
Hello,
Yeah.
And
good
sincerely,
morning.
don't worry, the dollars will continue to fight against Naira, and then I will continue to wrestle against dollar because we are being ruled by dollars.
Yeah.
Hello,
No,
everyone. I think
no
we're changing
apologies.
the topic. Can I quickly say something, please?
So that we come back to our
Move on, man. We are with you.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. And I also appreciate the facilitator. Unfortunately, I don't know. I think the network is, oh my God, is frustrating, and then we couldn't reach the hand. I'm sure it will continue from where he stopped. But I don't know what you find very interesting. There is something I find very, very interesting. And I think it's a component that I really, really love when it comes to mental health, which is what he actually said about the high problem causing hallucination or visual disturbances. So I'm sorry, I might just be talking like this because I'm on move. I had to keep working, taking care of the kids, but I just need to quickly do this. Because this phenomenon is known as visual hallucination. And why I really want to talk about it is because many people are not aware of it when it has to do with mental, they don't interrelate it with mental health issue. And this is known as Charles Bonnet syndrome. I don't know if any one of you has heard of that before. Have you heard of it? Charles Bonnet syndrome. Have you heard
Not
of
at
that
all.
syndrome before?
I
Not really.
haven't
Not
though.
really.
Wow, interesting. Because I think it's associated with the name of the first person that was affected with the illness. And then why hallucination are commonly associated with, psychiatric conditions such as schizophrenia or drug use. I'm sure most of you must have heard of schizophrenia as well. They can also occur due to, various medical conditions, which is biological. I'm talking about under biological now, and this can affect the eyes and the visual system. So I just want to give the three high conditions that can lead to visual hallucination, and these in most cases cannot be connected to mental illness, but it can cause hallucination. One of it is the macular degeneration. This is recognized as a progressive eye disease that can affect the central parts of the retina called the muscular. Yes. And in some cases, people with macular degeneration they may experience visual hallucination, like someone who is dealing with schizophrenia. And when this can manifest as seeing different patterns, shapes, or even complex images that are not actually present. And then people with schizophrenia can also see the same thing. I'm sure you are aware of schizophrenia. So the other one is retinal detachment.
Hello, ma.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sorry. Yeah, I can hear you. It's back. The facilitator is back.
All right then. So let's give it back to him. I'm so sorry, facilitator. We just don't want to keep them on hold. So that's the reason why I had to come in.
Thank you, ma.
It's fine. But I can send.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Thanks for thanks for filling the gap. I don't know what happened. I don't know. It's part of the stress we are talking about. Yeah, maybe the network was stressed. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we
Yes, we
can.
can.
Yeah, all right. So the limited time we have left, let's just so I met saying something on visual hallucination and all of that. Yeah, it's a very interesting topic, very very interesting things I met you discussing. But I would like us to discuss more about all those tomorrow. Naming all of them with their names tomorrow. Today, let's just limit ourselves to those factors. But I'm sure maybe she was answering somebody's question. So if you have any question now, so I was saying that there are many stress. There are many things in our society that can lead to stress. even our culture, a culture of saying the first child, must bring home, the son must bring home something for the parents. The first child must take care of the siblings. This culture of we eat the fruit of my labor. Fine, parents should eat the fruit of their labor, but the pressure they put on their children can put stress on people, and it can lead to mental distress and all of that. So that's cultural and societal factors. Life events like divorce, loss of job, and all of that. Chronic illnesses, I think we've talked about that. Trauma, past traumatic experiences that lead to PSTD and all of that. Tomorrow we'll be talking about more of them. Today is just an overview of all those factors and how they overlap and affect one another to now affect human beings and reflect on their behavior, causing abnormal behavior. So if you have any question, can we treat those now, or you have contributions, questions, or you notice something that you want us to make clarifications and all of that? Hello? Any
Hello, we
question?
can hear you.
We
Yeah,
can
any
hear
Your hand
you.
is
question?
raised.
Yeah, someone raised his hand the other time.
That's Abiodun.
Okay, Abiodun, can we hear you? Can you ask your question, and let's listen to what you have for us. Abiodun, Olubunmi, and one other person. Yeah, go ahead and ask your question.
Olubumi, can we hear from you?
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for this lecture. Can we talk about the genetic predisposition to mental health? Like, I know that in our society, in the olden days, they usually go to check the background of people that want to marry. Even though now we don't usually do it anymore, we just find a boyfriend, a girlfriend coming home and saying that they want to marry. Can we talk? Is there any genetic predisposition? Because you had talked about the biologic. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mentioned genetic vulnerability. Can you hear me? Yeah, I mentioned genetic vulnerability under biological factors that uh you know and I also said something about phenotype is equal to genotype and environment. That is, whatever behavior that a child will exhibit outside that people will see is greatly influenced by the genetic makeup that child has picked from our parents, from his or her parents, and the influence of the environment. And that now makes every child to be exposed to picking things from their parents that can expose them to ailments, that can expose them, not only mental ailments, but because we are considering mental health this morning. So it is true, and that's what they did in the olden days. As you said, that they will send people to go and check the families of the would-be bride or groom, to know whether they have mental ailments in their family or not. Yeah, it is true. It is true, and it's part of the biological factors that I mentioned. Genetic vulnerability is there. So people inherit things from their parents that in fact there is a research that says that parents who were alcoholic transferred that genetic trait. As funny as that could be, to there was a research I came across like that, even though some people did not agree, and there's another research that says that twins, the percentage of twin brothers or sisters picking some ailments from the genetic makeup of their parents is higher than those who are not twins, and especially identical twins, and that's because they share the same. So they can pick some things from the genetic makeup of their parents, which will affect their mental health. So it is true. It is true. Any other question? Owolabi, can we hear from you?
Yeah, good morning, sir.
All right. Good morning.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. We listed some of the factors, but you did not say anything about religion. Can we say religion can also influence mental health?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, religion is also part of the environment. Okay, it's also an institution. Every institution, family, school, religion, society, social media, entertain television, and any institution can also influence mental health of people. For instance, there are some religious organizations that would teach you that you must prosper by all means. They don't want to know whether you are hardworking or not, or you should be patient or not. Just you prosper, and it's as though what they are preaching or talking about is that by all means you must have money, and that can put stress on people. That can make them say, okay, I want to look like the other person, I want to do like this, and it will make them do what they should not do. And the religious institution can also make you have mental health and not ailment by teaching you patience, by saying, okay, all will be fine, by saying, okay, let us pray, by counseling you, by all of that. So it depends on the religious institution that you belong to. Okay, so religious institution can, if as a matter of fact, may I tell you that one of the things, even though people think that religious institutions are doing badly in Africa, but may I tell you that religious institutions are also helping a lot. One of the reasons that people have high level of coping skills to overcome stress, to overcome depression, to overcome all sort of things that could have caused mental ailment to them, is because religious institutions are there for them. So religious institutions are helping in terms of counseling, in terms of preaching, in terms of praying, yes, in terms of being there. At times you are sad, at times you are depressed, so to say. You go to church or you go to mosque, and by the time you are leaving, you are okay. You feel good because you have met people. You see people gathering after church services or after mosque. You see them gathering, talking to one another, upholding each other's faith, visiting each other. So it depends on the institution you belong to, or the congregation you belong to. So whether they will add to your they will cause mental ailments, or they will help your mental health to be stable. So yes, so it's also a factor, and it's under environmental or social factor. Thank you.
So we have Abiodun Olaoye. You
Good
have the
morning.
floor.
Yeah, good morning, Abiodun.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I'm not asking question. Maybe it's my phone that pressed itself.
Okay, it's all
All
right.
right. Thank you.
We have we have Lucia Iwunze.
Okay. Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so my question is that for an elderly person who is maybe hallucinating, seeing things that are not real, things that are not there,
They are not there.
at what, yes, at what stage do we know that, oh, it has gotten to a very critical level and I don't know, like, okay, fine. You said that hallucination is also part of a mental, it also is one of the causative factors of mental, that affect our mental health. Okay, so for someone that is hallucinating, an elderly person, does it mean that the person is, and if is that, at what stage do one take the person to a hospital, or is it something that can be managed at home? That's my question.
Oh, okay. You see, I wrote a poem some time ago. I said, okay, do you understand Yoruba? Can you speak Yoruba? Do you do you understand Yoruba?
I understand a bit, just
A,
little, but
a bit,
I can
okay.
write it. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a literary writer, apart from all this I write.
Okay.
There is a poem I wrote some time ago, and the first uh, verse of the poem says, díẹ̀díẹ̀ nimú ẹlẹ́dẹ̀ ń wọgbà, díẹ̀díẹ̀ leku ń jáwọ́, díẹ̀díẹ̀ nijó ẹ̀bì tí ń wọra, alámòdì ìyá wèrè lóòjọ́, òòjọ́ kọ́ ni wèrè bugi jẹ, ọjọ́ tí wèrè bugi jẹ kọ́ ní jájà, a máa tógun ọdún tí wọ́n ti ronú sí i. Yeah, so that's to tell you that the summary of that stanza is to tell you that it doesn't start a day. Okay, it takes a gradual moment. And tomorrow you will see more of that. You see that even though the underlying factors are biological and psychological, majorly, the behavior will come outside. It's behavior. The symptoms are behavioral. Okay, so it's something you must have been noticing over time. Maybe good attention was not paid and all of that. So at the point that you now notice, yeah, it's better you immediately go for therapy. Take her to therapy. For therapy rather. Take her to a therapist, take her to the hospital, and you'll be directed, except the people at home are therapists, except they know about mental health. That's when you can keep her at home. But even if they do, she should also be taken outside. Don't say because she's old, we shouldn't say because old people are old. You see, it is in Africa that we see our old people walking about as though they do not have people to take care of them. Even though they are old and they are close to their grave, we should still treat them well. Okay, so they should go to the hospital and they will be directed to the specialist that will take care of her. As soon as you notice any abnormality in her behavior, she or he should be taken to the hospital.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Someone asked a question about religion. Sir, talking about religious factors, sir, in the case where someone is stressed and thinking of where to find comfort, but getting to a religious gathering instead of finding comfort, they will add to it or stress. Please, what can we say about that, sir? Leave. You go to another place where you find comfort. Yeah, the essence of a religious gathering is to be edified. Is to be edified. Everyone should be edified, both in spirit and in body. Everybody must have a place. I mean, a church or a mosque or a religious center is a place where you go, and by the time you are leaving, you are comforted. You are better. You are better. But If it is a place where you are not getting comfort, rather you are being stressed again, then leave. You should leave and go to a place, pray very well so that you will be led to a place where you find comfort. And don't let it be because it's because you of hatred that you are leaving. Leave because you are not being you are not getting what you should get that are godly. Okay, so you can live, and it's not compulsory you stay there where you are not being comforted. So it's not compulsory to stay there. Wow, that poem is interesting. Can you share, sir? Okay, you can reach out to me. Don't worry, I will share. Can insomnia lead to psychiatric problem like depression? Yes, we will see more of that tomorrow. Don't worry. Insomnia or hyper insomnia, too much of sleeping or lack of sleep can lead to a psychotic problem. Okay, or, or what you call psychiatric problem. Yeah, it can lead to it. Please, I can't hear anything again. Hello, can you hear
Sir,
me? Can others hear me?
we have Ayodele Okunade, hand raised.
Okay, Ayodele, let's hear from you now. Ojo
Good,
Oluwadusi said he cannot hear us. I don't know what happened.
hello,
I
good,
would look into it, sir.
All right. Yeah, we can
hello,
hear you.
good
Yeah,
morning, sir. My hand
good
was already
morning.
picked. I've been raising my hand since.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry.
So, sir, this is like a contribution, and I'm trying to buttress your point on the question Madam Lucy asked. I would say hallucination at no point, I don't believe hallucination is healthy. When it now comes to old people, I believe, and with what I have read in the past, I believe as hallucination comes to old ones, whereby they are reflecting on their past decisions, or it might be a childhood trauma that they have bottled down over the years without talking to someone about. At old age, everything comes back, flooding in, raising emotions, and we believe old age is like a fragile time where the strength they had, they have no more. So I believe hallucination is not healthy at any point, be it 2 minutes or 3 minutes hallucination. I believe it's not healthy. So my contribution, or what I would, more like a request, I would really love us to look into the cultural aspects as a factor of mental illness, because averagely 75% of everyone battling mental illness is caused either culturally or environmentally. I still don't like believe, I wouldn't say believe, I still don't like think Africans are like really into the biological aspect of passing down mental illness from one family to the other. I still believe it's cultural. Like last night, I and someone, my fiance, we were like scrolling through the internet and we saw a video. It happened in Ilori, whereby a religious leader called out a mother for abandoning her child. But what initially happened was that she was battling postpartum depression. But the culture, the African, would I say African or religious culture, has clouded everyone's mind that we believe anyone that gives birth should actually wait, no matter what the person is going through. You should actually cater for the child, whereby we are being selfish not to like consider the level of stress the mother has gone through before putting to bed. This is not just the only psychological or mental problems you have in the society. We have various even uncountable types. So I am kind of making a request that we should actually look more into the cultural factor and the environmental factor, sir.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah, I share in your thoughts. I support the fact that cultural factor is a problem in Africa, generally, and that's the exact example I also cited. That if you pray in church or in mosque now, that all of you will eat your children's food or something like that. Everybody will shout amen, as though that and that's it's because poverty, it is poverty. Poverty leads to that. You will not blame parents too much. We only talk to them, we only counsel them that it's not a good way of raising children. It will make children to do what they should not do because they want to please their parents, because they want to bring money home. No good child no reasonable child would make it and not remember their parents. No reasonable child. Okay, so but if the children are being pressured and that you must bring money, and it make ladies go into prostitution, make guys go into money rituals, make them go into cyber crime, make them want to look like their friends and all of that, and it will throw them into depression, taking substances and all of that. So I agree with you. I agree. We can think about many other cultural problems we have in Africa as an assignment as we reflect, throughout today and we prepare for tomorrow. Let's think about other cultural issues that we have in Africa, especially in Nigeria, that are making young people to go into depression, to go into things they should not go into, that make them to suffer mental illness and all of that. So let's reflect on that, as we prepare to close for today. All right. Any other question? All right, because we are rounding off now. Any
Hello,
other
sir.
question?
No, my own is not question.
My hand is
Okay.
up, sir.
All right.
But it's about
Hello, sir.
contribution. The two contributions I want to make is this: that for us that are growing up parents or about to be parents, we shouldn't see raising our child as a kind of investment, rather a duty on us to perform. Then the second thing is that whenever you have a mental issue and you think religious centers are where you want to use to get solution, you should be able to weigh in, is what the man of God or the leader of that religious body is telling you in line with what you know. Is it helping you or not? If you find out that this might even add more to your problem, I think the best way is to avoid that place and seek medical professional hands than that at times, because at times people go to religious centers to seek for solution, and at the end of the day they end up being more problematic for them, causing more harm than good for them because of some of the factor attached to it. That's my own contribution.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Like I said, not every issue, in fact 90 something percent issues in Africa are not spiritual. Some of them have to do with poverty, have to do with health care, have to do with society or cultural problems and all of that. So any religious center or any minister, I'm also a minister of the gospel, any minister that tells you that your problem is spiritual and doesn't need medical care, even if you will pray, even if you will seek pastoral care and counseling and all of that, you should also go to the hospital. You should also see therapists, and both can be applied to different cases. So I agree with what you said. Thank you very much. All right, because another class will start by 10, like I'm being told now. I would like to round off and say we should go for now and prepare for tomorrow. And then our assignment, like I said, is that we should look for many other cultural issues that we have in Nigeria, in every part of Nigeria, in every tribe. whether Yoruba land or Igbo land or Hausa land, different cultural issues that we have that are adding to mental illness, that are putting stress or pressure on young people especially. Please, let's bring them as we discuss tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be handling all these signs or symptoms of mental illness one after the other, and it will make our discussion to be more robust tomorrow. I'm sorry for the I think when I put off my video, the network became better, so I'm sorry for the issues we have initially. It made our discussion to be bad initially, but thank God everything is fine now. All right, thanks for coming. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks for being here. I hope we had a nice time. I'm handing over to the moderator. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. It has been an amazing session, and I hope everyone is blessed. Everyone has one or two things to take home. I know that we have a lot of hands raised, and we have questions, contributions we want to contribute. I will add the facilitator to the group so that whatever question you have, you can ask the question, make a contribution, and you can answer them for tomorrow's session. I'm so sorry for any inconveniences that might cause. So I wish I wish everyone a lovely day. Today is Saturday. Enjoy your day. It's weekend. Watch movies, reduce stress in every way you can, and enjoy yourself. So with this, we're coming to the end of the meeting.
For those of you not going to work, I'm still going to work.
Okay. For those of us that are not going to work, please let us enjoy, watch movie. For those of you that are going to work, please buy meat pie and ice cream on the way.
All right, thank you very much. I am going to sleep now.
Exactly. Thank you. You sleep.
It's 1:24 here now, so I'm going to sleep and have a wonderful night.
And wonderful night to you, sir. I'll see you tomorrow. See you.
Thank you, sir.
On our Sunday.
All right, bye.
I think tomorrow is 9:30.
Bye, sir.
Yeah, tomorrow is 4 p.m. Nigerian time.
Nigerian time, yes. All right. Lovely day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.